Okay, doing pretty good. What was your? Would you do calorie mining too?
I did calorie. Also went on a medically supervised diet.
What does that mean? The doctor spoon feeds you?
No. I basically have to go in and test my blood once a week and make sure.
Oh, okay.
Essentially.
And if you're cheating, doctor will like poke you or something.
They'll be like, no. Like,
pull the pants down, spanking time. That's a paddling. Well, congratulations. That's a lot.
It was a lot, and I still got quite a ways to go.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's
harder as I'm getting 40.
And like when I first started, it also it was a new thing to do, so it's like a little bit of a temporary obsession to focus on and do it. But obviously, being stoked on something that's new to you and maintaining that the rest of your life is a different thing, right?
Totally different.
Yeah,
Exactly. So
that's what I'm learning now.
Doctor diet that I was on, I lost a shit ton of weight in very little time.
Right.
And because I was on super calorie restricted, and then even on top of the calories, there's only this food list.
Yeah. Right.
Anything outside of this food list.
So that's very particular. I didn't cut a lot of processed fats and carbs out of my diet. I just really restricted them.
Yeah. So the other thing they had me doing was testing my ketones every morning.
Yeah.
So I had to be in ketosis the entire time.
Are you diabetic?
So I am diabetic.
Okay.
That's a recent kind of thing for me.
Yeah.
And so no sugars.
Yeah.
No breads. No rice.
You're not on insulin though. You're monitoring through diet.
Yeah. I'm just
So that's extra strict. Because that means you're monitoring what's going in and testing your blood. Yeah. And that is more brutal than using an app for calories. That is way more involved. Yeah. Wow. Well, I guess.
But yeah, 380 to 320.
Yeah, it's amazing.
At my lowest, I was just under 300, 290.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I went up a little bit more after I got off the more strict stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do things like salad instead of
Yeah. That's my thing now. So I generally skip breakfast and just have a coffee, and then for lunch I have what I call a power salad. So it's gonna be I don't know why I call that, but it'll be some kind of leafy greens, and then whatever. I have 20 different jars of pickled things, which are generally low calorie but add a lot of flavor.
Right, of course.
And then feta cheese for a little bit here or there because it's good low calorie. Yeah, and then it's kind of it really, and it can change. I change what I'm putting on it depending on my mood. So I have variety, right? Variety is so important.
Oh yeah.
So
that's what I found on that medical supervisor. There was zero allowance for variety.
Oh really?
Flavor, you couldn't add nothing. There were
even pickled things.
The most you could do was add garlic or add lemon juice. Those are the two things that were allowed. Go crazy with garlic or lemon juice. But that's it.
So they're trying to mess with your metabolism with your foods. Then interesting. You're like a hot rod project for a biological mechanic.
Yeah. Let's see if he's already all messed up. Let's see if we can reverse this shit.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I just gotta check something here. I want to make sure my stuff. I'm actually live right now, but I don't think I've started everything up. See.
Chris is your label interview. He'll know all this stuff for label stuff.
Well, there's a lot of generalized questions. Some of it's going to be mildly informed, and some of it's going to totally be really noobish. But I've always had a shit ton of questions about this label. Honestly, and with is this working? I have no idea. Wait, can I test it? How do I type in there? Did I type in there? It's. Oh no, didn't want to do that. Oh, there we go. Just want to see if this is going to work.
If you say to him that it'd be really awesome to have us do 10th anniversary next year in the cathedral, I wasn't going to say that.
I'm not sure. It says I'm live.
I know.
But I don't know if it's connected to chat.
He always says we don't take recommendations. Or he always, it is a call. He basically says
oh my god. Too many windows.
Totally. Yeah. But there's no Oregon back. They played last year, so they're
okay. It is saying I'm live. Okay, that's good.
was like, what? Okay,
That's good. All right, that's working.
Next year, see what happens.
Get on the road. Start with your Blake is posted. Smash that like button, guys. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. Torrents.
Yeah, how was the?
That's all it is, man.
Where's the chat?
All right. Enjoy the rest of the show. All right. Okay. The brain is mush.
Oh, there it is.
Slow down there.
Funny, replied to my stories from the club last night. How are you? That's pretty good.
Okay, get rid of that.
I heard last night when you saw the poster for the days that you texted someone, you're like, "Is this true?" And they replied with, "Oh, the poster's done.
HQ said test.
All right, it's working.
When people see what it is, they're gonna lose their mind." And as soon as I walked in, Brandon just like couldn't keep his mouth shut. He immediately blurted it out to the room.
Wait, what's this about?
Cave-in tonight?
Yeah. I heard. Yeah, I heard from a couple sources. That's at 7, eh? Yeah.
No, it's on the. They did the post. Cave-in. Cave-in
Yeah.
at the church.
Yeah.
Acoustic set.
That's pretty wild. Is it? How many of them is it? Just.
I don't know. It's an acoustic set, so it might not be all of them.
Yeah. Did Kopko know yesterday that was happening? He must be pretty happy.
I said to him, he was pretty stoked.
Waiting. I'm starving, but I told Kopko I'd buy him lunch, so I wait for him to show up till I can go eat.
Is he coming from work? Or?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's just been chilling at home. Yeah. So, question about your distro. So, you're not touring anymore. Most of your distro must have come from trading when you're touring, eh? Yeah.
No, it comes from trading still. So,
Really?
we do collaboration releases with.
Here, hold that.
Can you hold this?
You can actually magnet.
There we go.
Holding up your shirt, but there you go. It'll catch you pretty good.
We do collaboration releases with labels in Europe. So we've worked a lot with Moment of Collapse in Germany.
We caught them here
We
last year.
did the Spread the Disease and the Omen Ostra record with them. We did the Phone record with These Hands Melt from Italy. So that's one way that.
So these are small labels you guys connected at when you were Titan, and you maintain the connection after the labels, because the label's not that old, right?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
2012.
What the fuck?
We released Burn was our second release.
Okay, all right.
2012.
No,
But like Moment of Collapse, like the guys booked us in Europe.
Yeah.
We played with them. We stayed friends.
Right?
These Heads Melt. We just connected online.
Right. Yeah.
We get a lot of inbound.
So-
and then once you've connected with the label, we do trades for their other releases.
Yeah.
They get
Like 1-for-1 trades for what's the quantity you would trade with, say, Moment of Collapse?
18 LPs.
18 LPs.
Yeah.
And like it could be 18 of like one artist, one release. It could be mixed.
It could be, but we don't really do that.
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
you want to bring in more options, so I'll do like 3. of
Right. Yeah.
Ragnar was
Stuff.
amazing.
That's really cool, though.
did
I
an
mean,
exclusive patch with them
it reminds me of the 90s. It really does.
It's just like DIY distribution.
Yeah.
technically, but then we can.
Forever Gone.
Let's get the.
I did one for Yellow.
Well, the DIY distros back in the day was like,
Chain to the bottom of the
someone would tour the DIY band and they'd have their own distro. They set up gigs and they would trade locally. But
exactly
now it's like a little more, I guess, streamlined with online.
Right, but then like we can.
I never know how to.
You're not going to find this record at
It is rock.
Rotate This.
Yeah.
Right, but if you're really into black metal, this really great record. We've got a couple copies of it.
Yeah.
We've got a couple copies of like whatever we put out.
Okay, yeah. No, we
So-
we actually ran into
So this is, did you set up shop Friday too?
Yeah, no, Friday, it was Saturday, Sunday was the vendor market.
Right.
There was no market on Friday.
So was there like say yesterday, people coming and looking, was there a lot of people going, oh shit, you got this kind of thing?
There was a few, like, the people who, I mean, it's
Is this all the same stuff?
it's a deep,
Same table.
it's a deep cuts, like, it's,
Yeah.
this is the real underground.
Yeah.
There are people at this fest who are, that's what they live on.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So they know.
They're like me.
They'll go through and be like, oh, I really wanted this.
They're neuroatypicals who have collections.
But then not everyone that comes by, some people would be like, I've never heard of any of this.
Yeah.
There's the level of bands that are playing here mostly are more well known. Like even within the underground scene, they're like
absolutely
well known. And this is like that tier below where
Check out Ada Ruck when she played.
that
So like a lot of these guys are still playing like basements and stuff, or really small DIYs.
Yeah. They're some of them are touring, but they are doing
I know, right?
that level. Like they're the up and coming band. So if you're ahead of the curve,
So
you'll know.
do you think DIY gigs are still bigger in Europe, like bigger
Probably.
squats, bigger communities?
Yeah, that stuff I don't think is ever going to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
So when you guys went to Europe as Titan, like it would be a bigger reception than playing in Toronto, or?
Well, no, Toronto's our hometown. So
Yeah.
but like bigger than when we toured West.
Oh, really?
For
Eh?
example, like
Do you think when you're touring West, though, you're still a treat? You're new to everyone, so
yeah, but the scenes are smaller. Like
That's true.
Toronto's a huge city.
Yeah. That's true.
Edmonton, not as big.
Yeah.
Just the pool is smaller.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mentioning anything.
Let it ride a little bit.
So like Toronto is our
I got it.
hometown,
That makes sense. It's a hometown, but it's also like, I mean, I hate to use this terminology, but it's a bigger market, right? Like, there's more people.
and just like between our friend networks and then being, we were support for like
It's coming. Or if I
Prowess
forgot.
or,
Yeah.
Ken Mode. Very
Right, yeah.
We were lucky to be
I mean,
able to be on the show.
it's changing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there's
You guys always been like just super friendly people that know and get along with everybody. So network, but I mean, you guys never had to like quote unquote network. It just it's like kind of natural, right?
Yeah, I guess the networking itself is
Yeah.
just naturally making friends. Like
Yeah.
Mike reached out to him to make a patch, and then
as soon
he
as
did
the new year
the
hits,
Flock
you
Named
get
Roberta
the
patch, and then I was like, hey, I've got extra table space. You want to come hang out?
Nice.
Like,
Yeah.
So you don't see anything
we just
until
hung out
at
the last 2 days in a row.
April.
So, I mean, part of that you can chalk it up to your personality, but part of it also is like, back to the days that I spoke of being just enthusiastic about DIY, DIT, like, community vibes and just stoked on doing it, right? Like that had to have prepped you for, as you got more serious about making music,
Of course, right? Yeah.
So
the vibe of dealing with people came from
I
that.
wasn't serious about making music then.
No. It's a difference about like trying to approach something as a young person who's trying to be authentic and really in what you're doing to the point of being detrimental at times. And then like, I should have if I get some nicer gear and maybe spend some time forming the music before we present it to the world, we can have maybe a bigger impact on whatever it is we're trying to do, right?
Yeah, and just being like getting older and having
So I just refused. I
jobs
was like,
that
I'm not.
had money.
Yeah.
I spoke to. I was still in
Yeah.
university.
Right.
The money isn't
Right.
me.
We didn't even have a jam space. We jammed in our living room.
It's just
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah, back in the day, that was our thing. Yeah.
We just had, but then again, like we also ran shows in that. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
Baroness's first show
How did-
in Toronto was in our living
How
room.
did that network start when you started bringing in bands? Like, how did bands get a hold of you?
We were
back in
I think we were the
Streetsville
only-
gigs and shit.
We were the only band of that style at that time.
Yeah,
There
like
was
they came across you on like MySpace or some shit.
No, it was or it was pre-MySpace.
Pre-MySpace.
I remember calling people on the phone. There was this list. I forget what it was, like bookyourfuckinglife.com or something.
Yeah.
Book, something like that. And you would just put your phone number out.
Yeah,
And
right.
all the bands would just go through
That's
there. and they would just
amazing,
call
yeah.
you.
Searching for other productions.
That's I've heard stories about like the '90s DIY scene where there would be like distro tables at gigs, and some of the distro tables would have these homemade beeper devices for doing free calls on payphones and stuff for like doing freaking, right? And that was apparently the backbone of a lot of DIY back in the day. So all the long distance phone calls you have to make to book small gigs, you'd go to payphones and use these little dial tone emulators to get free calls. Well, it's after your time a little bit, right? Was there even payphones in Mississauga, Oakville around that time?
Yeah, those were the. But yeah, the Streetsville days, like that was all from high school.
Yeah.
It's like that scene. There was like a
the lodge based scene. Yeah.
There was like an earlier scene that was the New Day Rising, Spread the Disease, like that mid '90s. Stuff really started to take off, and then bands like The End started getting big, and like a lot of that scene started getting paid attention to, like
they're selling it. They have to be aware.
like Alexis on Fire got like huge.
Yeah. They're pretty accessible, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
but
like,
early on they were more screamy, they were more aggressive.
Yeah. No, they're one of the like more melodic like screamo emo bands that is like aren't as shameful to me. But
that was the stuff that really it all started to like come together in a bit of a swell at that time.
Yeah.
So those would be 250 people like crammed in the Sonic Lodge.
also like a lot of I think what's interesting about that too though is like it's like you're saying like MySpace pre-MySpace. Before MySpace, everyone was usually pretty specific about their type of music that they wore as their uniform, right? Like you might like other stuff, but you didn't really talk about it, right? I feel like after MySpace, everyone listened to everything.
Yeah, but those shows used to be more diverse.
That's what I'm saying.
Like the emo band and the screamy band and the metalcore band, and it wasn't as like divisive as it is today.
That's what I'm saying. It was like I think the only real division in that scene is arguments over nomenclature. That's all it is.
Like micro genre.
Yeah. But back then, like because even like say Mississauga, you got like one like metalcore band, maybe two, one emo band, but you're all a bunch of like high school kids stoked on punk, so it makes sense you all play together, right? And you bring each other's audiences to the gig too.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a lot of friend network and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you sort of graduate out of that scene. The next group of kids take over.
Yeah.
And then we started playing bars. Like we
So
played CDs. We played.
Yeah. Was the people see at the smaller gigs and they want you to play like a gig, right?
Yeah. Noel would take a chance on us and like we open for Today Is the Day.
You're talking about like Titan, not Ice Spoke. Yeah. I can't see Ice Spoke on a Noel gig.
Ice Spoke was only around for like 2 years.
Really, eh?
3 years.
That's pretty wild because like all the kids now, you probably got a bigger audience now than you did back then.
Yeah, absolutely. I see like a song I wrote when I was like 20 that has 13,000 plays on Spotify.
Yeah, that's wild, eh? Isn't that wild? But
I mean, it's cool.
you can't discount nerdery, man. Kids love like what they think is like an awesome secret that's special.
Yeah.
And then they pass it around and it becomes a thing. I think that's great. I think you did already have an I Spoke revival, but have you never reprinted anything? You just last year you sold your last 6 inches. I have 6 inches.
I've got a box. I've got a box of maybe 20 of the 7 inches left that I'll bring to new friends this year. I actually printed covers for them,
and that's the last.
Those would be the last.
Dang.
Unless you can find them in used bins. And
I guess they come up here and there. As kids grow out of the records, I guess, here and there. Or like someone's like Screamo girlfriend breaks up with them and they don't like Screamo anymore. I came across when like decommissioning Soy Bomb, I came across 2 screens for an iSpoke shirt. I think they're like for the same shirt.
Yeah.
I still have them. And I was just like, did Woodford give these to me just to get rid of them? Where did I get these?
I might have thought you were going to reuse them because like you can just like
use the screens.
wash that
Yeah.
and reuse
At this point, I would not wash those now. Like it'd be better to clean up the any potential plastisol and like put some lights in them or something, and make them a cool like art piece.
See if we could still maybe screen some shirts.
I mean, you could use them for that, but
I don't DIY shirts anymore. I work with much more talented people.
Oh yeah.
hello, gentle peeps.
How y'all doing?
It's good.
Good.
It's been
I'm live streaming, so don't say any slurs. you're like, I never say slurs, but I'm about to.
Man,
Shit.
I had so many in the barrel. Are you ready? Let's go.
So you're saying if I brought a bunch of white shirts that I just markered iSpoke on them and set up a booth next to you at New Friends, that'd be all right?
yeah, that would be fine.
Oh shit!
I know you'd put it to good use.
I don't have the time. That's the painful truth. I've picked up, I've in my mind and built up some creative projects over the years, and then just as quickly given up on them. You know,
Yeah.
I gotta
Hard to find the time.
yeah, you
That
get
initial excitement versus
you get a head of wind on your sails. You go, and all of a sudden life throws a bunch of fires in front of you. You gotta put those out. By the time you're done, you don't care anymore.
yeah.
You're worn out. At least me. That's not universal. That's me.
Well, the label is a labor of love, so it's like I always eventually get re-energized by the excitement of the bands when their stuff is physical and they
Yeah.
see it, playing shows,
Yeah.
there's a release show and whatever. That always refills the cup and keeps it going.
Okay, so what was the first release for the label?
So we were going to Europe in 2012, and Burn wasn't. It wasn't clear if Burn was going to be ready in time for the tour.
Right.
So we pressed this 12-inch one-sided. This was supposed to be like a tour.
I remember that. Yeah, I have that.
So this was our first release. I had Scott Shaham print these.
So when you say ready, that's ready from the label you were dealing with at the time?
we were doing a co-release with React with Protest.
Yeah.
We released Colossus and
What happened to React?
basically all our stuff.
Just got old, burned out. Yeah.
And it's expensive.
We're
It's
gonna go
like
see Harvest Man.
What was his band called again? Apoplex.
Apoplex.
Yeah.
He was in a bunch of other bands too.
I love that one though.
And,
Yeah.
tons. So yeah, we'd
So the first release was going to be a split?
No, it was a co.
Oh, a co-release, right.
Release with the label, but it was Burn.
But so you guys did your own quick. Was this the look and packaging when you guys did it on your own as a quick touring record?
Yep.
That's crazy. What was the turnaround on that? That's where the labels took over all the printing, eh?
Yeah,
The pressings.
Yeah, I had Scott print it all for me. We just got the records done. It was just a one-sided 12-inch because it's just warmer months. So we would have something to sell.
Yeah.
Tour. But then I think we got the Burn records partway through.
Oh, really? So,
Yeah, which was still fun. But those first.
So how many of those
shows,
did you press?
200.
200.
Yeah,
How many got left?
not many.
Not many, eh?
Yeah,
Should be like putting on a little pedestal. 12 left.
yeah. I mean, most of our releases don't have many left. The more limited color treatments that we do, those are either long gone or almost gone, and the black vinyl is a long tail. Usually, sticks around for a bit.
Well, that brings up jumping ahead in a question. Have you ever done a reprint for something?
No, we actually haven't.
So it's true to kind of small stuff. You do a release and everyone keeps trucking.
And unfortunately, a lot of the bands that we've worked with over time have broken up or didn't keep going.
Yeah.
I'm hoping someday there'll be a band that continues on and gets on. We're a stepping stone to a bigger label and bigger opportunities for them.
I mean, as I've noticed, my observations is you get these bands that are stoked on what they're doing, but then maybe specific members lose their stoke and other members change their direction.
Yeah.
there are people like from the DIY like heavy music scene that like there's always one or two that just keep on trucking just in another form, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so first 2 releases were Titan releases. So you why did you decide to form a label to do that instead of just having records with you on the go? Make it look more like a label was doing it, or?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Me and Brandon had the like harebrained idea. I think we thought by like controlling our own like means of distribution, we'd be able to like help fund it, I guess, and like reap the benefits of it.
But you were also creating more work for yourself.
Yeah, we were young and didn't really worry too much about that stuff at the time. We didn't have families and like other obligations, but we had been talking to labels, and it all just kind of like none of it came together.
Yeah.
So we just did it. We just did it ourselves. I think we like. We're like trying to hold out for like that we might have been able to like get up to a bigger level, like a Relapse or a Metal Blade subsidiary or something at the time.
Just depends on the right band and the timing, right?
And then Relapse signed a different band named Titan, and I remember that that was a whole thing.
I don't even remember this other Titan band.
Yeah. It was like,
did they only do one record and quit?
No, I think they did maybe a couple, but it was like members of that band Zombie, I think too. Like I think they were related in a way. But anyways, it is what it was.
So things kept going hard. You would have had to have been like Titan, North Dakota.
We considered we did go through the process of what it would be if we changed our name. But yeah, in the end, it just made sense for us to
helmets in the other box.
Do it ourselves.
Yeah.
I'll get around doing it.
So, what was the first non-Titan release? How'd that happen?
That was the first non-Titan.
I recognize that record. I might have that actually.
Ben was a fan of Titan, and he emailed me to ask if Titan wanted to do a split with Ramblin', and we had just released Burn. This came out in 2013. And I was like,
you weren't going to have any more material right away?
Yeah, I was like, that wouldn't work out for us. But like, he sent me what they had recorded, and I was like,
so they had a full release ready.
They were ready, and I was like, this sounds great, guys.
So you said, hey, we got a label. Why don't you just release it with us?
Yeah, I was like, we'll release it for you. So we ended up.
Where are they based?
They were in like Maine, New Hampshire-ish kind of area.
So you do what was the run of that one?
300.
Was that like the average release you guys are doing? 2 to 3?
It was 3 at the time when it was like less expensive. I think.
Yeah.
It was not half the price, but pretty close to half the price back then to print 300 than it is to print 300 now. Now we try to do, some of them I'll do 100. Precision pressing has this like express thing where you can do like
100 is a nice size.
Yeah, as long as you conform to what they need, like it's like $1,700 for.
Is that a Canadian company?
Yeah, they're in Burlington.
Okay, that's probably the one I heard about.
I've been working with like Paul, who's one of their, I don't know.
Okay, so going with Ramlord then, first release, not you guys. There's a process. There's the art, the layout, the printing, the test pressings. Like, what part of that are you guys, and what part of that was Ramlord?
All the art, layout, and everything is done by the bands.
Yeah.
We give the artists like full control over all of that. As long as it conforms. Like these days I make artists like give me an explicit statement that they're not involved in any Nazi shit.
Right.
Any like stuff.
It's sad that in the metal world you have to do that.
It has to be explicit and upfront. And then from there, then they have free reign to sort of like do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So they'll do the layouts, they'll do then they send us the masters, they get it mastered for vinyl.
Yeah.
And then we basically take it from there.
You send it to the pressing plant.
Yeah, we do the pressing plant. We'll do the vinyl, CD.
Does the test pressing go to the band, or is there even a test pressing anymore?
Sometimes we waive it's expensive and time consuming, and the technology around vinyl pressing is so good that it's not as
it's going to be like
they actually like run some sort of tech over it to make sure that
they have their own like algorithm mastering like software, so that they just make sure that the basses are going to run the grooves out.
Yeah, they've been doing it long enough, and like developing that stuff that they can.
It's funny. There was a guy up in outside of Bracebridge where I used to live back in the day, and he was a masterer. That's all he did. Worked for big. He did ABBA and shit like that.
Like just cutting the lacquers, or
mastering the final mixes for the different releases, right? Magnetic tape, vinyl, whatever. But he had like a wall of gear just for mastering. He did no mixing, no After Effects, no special nothing, just mastering. Just like, and now it's just an application that like someone at the pressing plant hits like start on. Like, that's crazy. But okay, so mostly waive the test pressing unless like a band maybe asks for it and willing to pay for it or something.
Yeah. What's the last test pressing we actually got?
I did it for the Pyres one because when all this tariff stuff started to go nuts, I started looking just like into Europe and like what it cost, and the cost to produce it is way cheaper, but the cost to ship it is so much more.
Yeah.
So like whether it was the first time we did it, we used a plant in Poland. I did new plant. I didn't want to, I wanted to make sure we got
right. That's true.
Make sure.
Can't trust algorithm yet.
Yeah, right. Gotta prove themselves first. But in the end, it was a little bit cheaper, but not enough for the like level of complexity. So we just everything after that just went back to precision in Burlington. Just keep it there. Keep it in the family.
This is one of my gateway drugs. This song with like Human League, David Bowie, and Pink Floyd was what slid me down the dark path.
Oh, okay.
Right. So on your end, they give you the art, you send it to the jacket printer. We rarely deal with masters, so you just got to get everything, and then from there they got to get delivered to you.
Yeah.
You don't ever have the printer I guess not, because you got to put everything together. You got to assemble it all.
No, all the assembly's done. It comes like fully assembled. It's just the shipping.
So the pressing plan will do the jackets and everything.
Yep, they do everything. Sleeved in the sleeves, in the poly bags, all of that stuff. Like that stickering, everything's done. But I mean, most of the bands we work with are from Toronto, so it's they just come over and pick them up. When we work with bands in Europe, it just generally isn't cost effective to send it from the plant because they charge you like a fee. Address and like. So
it's literally cheaper for you to get all of them than send some to the band or something.
We work out those details because normally I'm sending them the LPs and we do like shirts with the pre-orders and sometimes we do patches. Or
Else, so you gotta put that whole package together. Yeah,
it's a big thing that all goes.
You ever like mail drops to bands when they're touring so they intercept them?
Well, we need more of our bands to start touring.
Ouch. All right. You guys ever get cold called by a random band that turns out to be awesome though?
Yes, absolutely. So the most recent like random cold call was this one, Locust and Honey from the UK.
Okay.
They sent me this at either the end of 23 or the very beginning of 24. This is our first release of 2024.
Do you know what city they're from?
I don't know. London, I think.
London seems the obvious choice, but you never know, man. Bristol's always got shit going on.
I'm pretty sure they're from at least the one main guy.
So they just like said, "Hey, we like your shit. Like, you interested in like doing this?"
Yeah.
They send you like a fully finished record.
Yeah.
So they said, like, check this out. What do you guys want to do?
Well, yeah. It was just like we get a lot of like submissions, right? So people saying like,
that's from one of my.
Would you be interested in working with us? Here's like what we're doing. This is our plan, and then
I found it. It was in the box.
They sent me that, and I was like, this is right up my alley. Like, God, like, okay.
Did you message Brandon right away?
Usually I do. I like just fire stuff his way. I'm like, check this out. Check this out.
Do you guys get stuff you really like that you can't do because of timing and money?
Yeah, there's been a few where it was either like, we did 6 or 7 releases in 2024, and that was like too much.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's just for where other labels can do so many more. Like we can only do
wearing out the emails.
A few, so it gets tough because some stuff is just so good but it just the timing doesn't work or whatever.
I think so.
Yeah. You don't have to stop like doing sales, by the way. Like, this is a casual hangout.
Anyways, you want those too?
Yeah, I'll take one.
All right.
So where do you usually step in, Brandon?
I usually I don't know. Support,
Yeah, Brandon's
Mostly, you come over to his house once a month, give him a good hug.
Brandon's the keeper of the 7 inventories.
Yeah.
Say 7 inventories? Like there's 7 of them or 7-inch inventories?
That was a Halloween reference.
Oh God. Yeah, I was not a big Halloween.
He's the keeper of the 7 keys.
I like metal, but I'm not a metal nut. Okay.
Hold all the overstock.
Yeah.
Provide support financially. If Chris is second guessing, should we send it my way? What do you think?
What has he ever said something to you that he's stoked on? You're like, I don't know.
Chris has the most amazing musical.
Yeah,
so
I believe it.
I almost never. I'm like,
Never disagree. Yeah.
It's never happened. So I'm waiting for it.
So you guys never had any real disagreement on like a release. It's like, yeah, that's awesome.
As an artist,
No, not yet. At least
if something's not set,
maybe that new Anchors record.
Yeah, maybe the Anchors record. Yeah, maybe the second record too. Yeah.
Oh my god.
it doesn't matter.
Wait, what was the split in the Anchors? He loved it because he made it, and you didn't love it. That was the joke.
I had just had a kid, and I was living in San Francisco.
Oh right.
And I was like, Brandon, I just can't put any money into this right now. I just can't. That's the only time I've ever had to be like, it's not that I didn't like it. I was just like, you're doing this on your own, buddy.
Yeah, it's on me.
Yeah.
So what was that like doing it on your own then without Chris?
No, it's fine. I mean, Chris helped coordinate things a lot, but it's just financial backing. I guess it was all me and
I won't ever have my own
the singer as well chipped in to make that.
Greg Gramlich. I haven't seen him in a dog's age, man.
Yeah, he doesn't come out very much.
Yeah. But I know he's around because he's pretty active on social media.
Yeah.
So I know he's out there giving her. All right. So we'll backtrack a bit, thinking about post I Spoke. What were you doing when I Spoke was happening?
Struck by Truth. So I was in the band Struck by Truth. And we,
that metalcore?
Punk.
Really, eh?
Meets metal.
Yeah, it was like it had the like technical elements of like a tech, not like a tech metal, but like a Dillinger Escape Plan, like tech.
Oh,
But then
okay.
with like punk beats.
Yeah, with punk beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and very, very like hardcore punk vocals. I think Jay's vocals were.
Anyone I know that was in that band? Anyone else?
So Kevin Richards was the drummer. He's the current drummer of Pale Mare.
I do it on my.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Jay Spencer, I don't think he's active musically anymore, but he was
Oh, the
in.
magnet.
So he was in that band with Brendan Pierce.
Yeah.
Oh yeah! I remember Jay. They always had kind of like the advanced bowl cut.
Yeah. It's like longer
Even in high school, yeah.
Really,
I
eh?
hope he's not watching this. I'm not.
Geez, I can't think of the band for the moment, but I really like them for what like they had some really good moments.
Yeah. It'll come.
Yeah,
back to me.
yeah.
Like, it's on the tip of my
It's
tongue.
deviating too much from metal. We'll just drop it. So he was in that, okay, and then what was between that and Titan? Anything?
No, that was it.
That was
Struck
it?
by Truth broke up.
Yeah, we think we broke up, and Chris came to our last show. And
Yeah.
he was like, "What are you doing musically after this?"
Because like I had known Brandon since
Yeah.
high school. Like we had been playing in like other weird bands at the Masonic Lodge going back to like '98 maybe.
Yeah, that's
So
way
like
back.
I'd known Brandon for long enough, and then we had done Titan and Struck by Truth had played together. We played we did like a run to Montreal or something. Like
Yeah, and I think Titan was just starting up.
Yeah.
And Struck by Truth was just kind of coming to an
The
end.
Titan started as a 3-piece?
we started.
Or sorry, 3-piece with vocals. I have a bad habit of not considering vocalist musicians.
The Chrysanthemum Pledge, the In First Person split, and the June Peg split were all pre-Brandon.
Oh, really?
So that was just me, and then Colossus.
So
was
the
first recording with
ex-Pans are born like you and them.
Well, that was I Spoke and Panzerbjorn came together
Yeah.
to form Titan.
Yeah.
Me and Bunny started jamming in 2005, like as soon as both of those bands kind of like broke up.
Yeah.
And then as we had like moved through some of that stuff in the direction we wanted to go, we knew that like I was like playing with like ABY switches and I had cabs on both sides. And I'm trying to like play all of it, like these harmonies myself.
That's crazy.
I was like, I'm no Tom Schlatter. I'm not gonna pull this off. So then we needed a second guitar player, and then when we
that's
knew
awesome.
that Struck by Truth was ending, Brandon was a first choice to ask.
Chrysanthemum Pledge was like, you could see the connection between Titan and I Spoke, but then Titan really went away from I Spoke.
The Chrysanthemum Pledge was I had been writing an I Spoke full length, So
so it was
those
some
bits,
remnants.
There definitely was remnants in there that it got evolved and tweaked and changed a little bit. 2 of the songs we ended up recording with Theo like much later when we did that reunion at Soy Bomb.
Yeah.
Because those 2 had been like fully formed, and then some of the other bits and pieces got.
I'm so glad you guys did that revival gig. That was fun as shit.
I still listen to Moth-Like. I think it's one of the better fucking. Yeah, it's amazing. That song. But is that one of the ones that got recycled from I Spoke?
Yeah. I actually like that riff at the end. The I Spoke bass player Ryan wrote, and I continued to use it. He was a talented guy. He wrote a lot of like good bass lines and stuff. So
that's neat. All right, didn't mean to get into Titan history there, but it's just I just like the I mean, live streaming. I don't know who's even going to see this or watch it, but I do like the idea of just like having these conversations for my own sake because I've got these questions. And then
an archivist.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm a bad archivist though. Like I've not saved or cataloged or looked after any real Soy Bomb ephemera. I tried it once. I went on a little tear, as the ADHD commands. You follow the dopamine, get stoked for a bit. Yeah, and then you get stoked on something else, and you never go back, and it's another pile, right? And that was a digital pile for the most part, but.
So I used to run a festival every year in my backyard. Every year when I was in high school.
What was it called?
It's called Boonie Fest.
Boonie Fest.
Yeah, and it was probably somewhere
like
between
10th line. And
it was on 9th line between Derry and Britannia or whatever in Mississauga, technically Hornby, Ontario, right across the street from Mississauga or Meadowvale. And so I did it 3 years in a row, and it was really, really successful each time. And it was just me and like all my friends' bands that wanted to play, and then basically the entire high school came to
was it terrifying?
Yeah.
Did the cops show up?
Yeah, cops did. Fire department too, because we had a huge bonfire in the backyard.
I have a similar experience. I'll tell you another time.
I think between that, like trying to catalog, like what has happened. I've still got flyers from those days and the wristbands and the tickets I was selling. And
you can't get rid of that though. That's like personal memories. Like
personal keepsakes.
It is related to a scene and like a history and whatnot, and the community's history, but it's also very personal for you. You cannot ditch that.
Yeah, especially because it was literally in my backyard.
Yeah. So you only did it for 3 years?
I did it for 3 years.
You got scared after the last one?
So I did it in grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12, and then high school ended, and I was like, okay.
It's crazy you did that in grade 10, though.
I was amazed my parents let me do it. Like, this is incredible.
You must have some pretty smart parents that were like, you know what, do it with them, or he's going to do it without us.
One way or the other.
Safer to just have them do it and, monitor from
I can't remember the name of it.
These are like that's core memories for me from high school.
Did you play Boonie Fest?
We never played, but I would go.
Yeah.
I have like weird memories of like your basement and stuff too. Like
so I used to hold like mini shows in my festivals.
Yeah.
3 bands or something like that in my basement, and it was just like set
Your
up.
Parents never got sick of it?
They were fine with it. They were like, as long as
they gave you an inch and you took a mile, though.
Pretty much.
That's awesome. How many gigs do you think you did there?
I don't know. Probably no more than a half a dozen. The place didn't have a name. It was just like.
I was gonna ask that next. Like just Brandon's place and never got
like Ask a Punk thing. Like that's
yeah.
That was what it would be.
Well, you have more than 2 shows. You eventually it gets a nickname or something, but you were just Brandon's place.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
But I remember them being packed, and I remember like my basement getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Like this temporary wall, just like with insulation, it got
yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to rebuild this. So,
was there any cover or anything?
Good life skills.
No cover, so there was no pot of money to replace the building materials.
I mean, if there was, it was kind of pay what you want or pay what you can.
Right.
And it definitely wasn't enough to recreate a wall or
so you didn't,
fix anything. Yeah.
You didn't get any? Did you get allowances suspended or?
No, it used to work.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. God damn. It brings up the feels. Makes me think back to being a kid doing gigs,
Yeah.
Playing gigs, trying to and Bracebridge, it was hard because punk community was like 6 people, I think.
Yeah, all of 6 people. Not shows.
Yeah. But
I remember playing the Kinsman Hall in Streetsville, and they had like a shuffleboard on the floor, And I used to do this thing every time I played where I would like stamp my foot as hard as I could, like giving me shin, like shin splints. And I remember I put a hole through the floor, and like it was an accident. I didn't mean to do it, but it's clearly I found a weak spot and put my foot.
Yeah. Whereas the Kinsman's Hall is not the hall that everyone went to all the time, though.
No, it's the
Masonic, right?
It was like
Kinsman was around the corner.
right around the corner, down the street.
Yeah, because I spoke to the double show revival, right? It was there, and
we did
and
Mississauga
Mount
was
Far,
sort of
Mount
like
Fest.
a hometown show, and then Mountain Far.
Yeah.
in 2012.
Okay. So it's been 13 years with a label.
Yeah.
It's not getting boring. It's not wearing itself out.
Not really. Well, we took a bit of a hiatus while I was in San Francisco, so like we kind of had this like swell of interest early on, and then we kind of made that mistake of letting it wane.
Yeah.
And then it was in the pandemic. Dave Bushmeyer like posted on Facebook that he was looking for someone to release the first Spread the Disease record on vinyl, and I was like, well, I got nothing to do right now. Like, this sounds like fun. Like, I still got
COVID
this
did
label.
push along a lot of people's creative projects. Eh? That's one thing you got to say.
So we did that, and it went really well. Like, we pressed 300, and I think I've got like 30 left.
Wow.
So, like, even for a 25-year-old record at the time.
And you released that during COVID as well?
Yeah, I was like 21.
So that's like
that was what brought
no
it back.
touring, all mail order.
Yeah, all mail order. But they had already been like established. The CD had gone out on Eulogy. Like it was well known, so there was like a group of people who were still like interested.
You're like, damn, that was a brief respite.
And that brought it back. You know,
well, which is like
kind of grew from there, like, regrew.
So you did it. Enjoyed doing it. You're like, you know what? I like this. Let's keep doing this.
And then the next year we did one more. We did the first Calm record, which also did really well. And then, we started getting into like doing like press and stuff. It started to become a little bit more, a little less DIY and a little bit more structured.
Yeah,
I guess with like intent. And then 23 we did like another record, and like we started getting like some good attention from good reviews, good like interviews, people like interested in it again, brought up some interest in our previous releases. And then in 24 I was like, well, let's see what happens if we like do a few releases this year. And then I just kept saying yes. Stuff just kept coming my way, and I was like, well, yeah, that sounds great. So we did that Locust and Honey record. We did 2 releases for Calm, like an EP and the second full length. Absorb sent us their record. I was like, this is too good. I can't say no to this one.
There's been a few of those, just like this is too good. We can't.
Yeah.
It's way too good.
And then
there's a bit of a snowball effect, though, right? You guys do something good, and then everyone's like, "Yo, they're doing good shit. Let's go talk to them."
I felt that way about Demonic Possessor. I was like, "This is fantastic, right?" Like we got
criminally underrated.
Yeah.
But so that started to snowball, and then that just led to doing stuff like this, meeting more people, like meeting the new bands, like these kids are like 25 and just way more talent than like we ever had.
Here's the thing:
writing this stuff, like this is amazing. Like,
when you're dealing with these younger bands, they're looking to you guys like the experienced grandpas. They're gonna give them advice and shit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I hope. Like, I hope that's something that we can offer is like some experience and like help them learn how to tour Europe. When we toured Europe, like if not for Lars, like we wouldn't have been able to do anything. He taught us how to do that stuff.
Yeah. You remember the first time we went, we had to go and pick up all the gear ourselves, and we were like, "There's got to be an easier way. This is crazy." We like lost like 3
like you shipped the gear there and had to go get it,
No. So there's like rental companies.
Right.
And so they offer a service. Hey, we'll deliver the van to the airport filled with the gear.
That was like a recommendation from Chris Callahan, who hooked us up with this guy in the Netherlands who offers that as a service.
Right. Whereas we didn't know that service would have existed.
Yeah.
We just assumed we rent a van, and that is separate from renting gear.
Yeah. It's actually coming from a DIY perspective, you wouldn't even imagine that could be a thing, right?
Yeah.
So so we went in 2008, had that struggle, and now we know that struggle doesn't need to exist anymore, right?
It's funny over the years, just people I've met in Toronto who know Lars. Like he must be one of those guys, eh?
He loved this like Southern Ontario, like Acrid's like his favorite band.
Who?
Like Acrid.
Acrid. I've heard of, but never really listened.
What's the other band he's really into? Southern Ontario, Left for Dead?
Yeah, like
Dead.
all those like early Chris Callahan bands and like Chokehold and stuff. Like he just loved that like metallic hardcore.
Yeah. There's a bit of that going around in the mid-late 90s.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. The Swarm, you know, like that Acrid, the Swarm split, I think is like a big, or was it Acrid and Left for Dead? I don't know. It was like, that
Something
was
we
like,
call it.
It was like what it is now. It's like the scene of overlap of just the Venn diagram of different friends being together in different,
different
configurations. And
one of these days we're finishing the chart.
Yeah.
I found some online software that kind of lets you have an infinite timeline of piecing stuff together.
Like mind mapping. And
so
stuff.
yeah, so I have the engine. We just need the time. That's the hard part.
Contributed to that, just with my own like past projects and stuff, and how through time.
We had like at one point we were wanting to do, because I wanted to do it because there was a time when it seemed like Soy Bomb could go on forever before the landlord sold it. And I wanted to do a mural in the stairwell of the that lineage, and keep it going too, make it live, right? And so Chris was at least one or two hangouts at Soy Bomb where we started this like writing it down.
The one I remember is we went to Disgraceland and like wrote it out on paper.
Yeah.
And just like ate food and
started making notes and
and then you took photos, but they're illegible. It's like phones back then.
Yeah, it was like 300p or something. Yeah. But in most cases, it was like would jog most memories. I still have. I actually like when stuff got moved from the Soy Bomb. There was stuff that was like building materials, and in that was that piece of Bristol, like that piece of like masonite, with all those stickies like stuck on it. So that's at home now. I don't know. But we are going to do that someday. But so I had a question earlier about.
You want the Ask Club?
It's a problem with having that obsessive tendency to follow that new thing that's exciting you, and you completely forget what you were thinking about before. I like to trace it back, but it doesn't always work. So tabling. That's what I wanted to ask about. So back in the day, you were touring bands. You'd play other gigs, trade with bands. So when you're doing a show and you got your own merch, you'd set up your collection. And I guess for like local gigs back in the day, you would do that even if you weren't playing a gig? Or was it always stuff you were playing a gig at?
Yeah, it was always stuff we were playing. If we were playing, we would just bring the
logo. Like Ice Smoke or Titan merch, it would...
Yeah, we did that. So Lars would give us his distro when we tour in Europe. And we would...
that's a good trade-off.
He would give us a cut of like... So he would get his stuff sold.
Yeah, get it out there,
And it would like help cover some of our costs by taking the whatever off the top that he would give us. So
he's got the mustache too.
Having seen that be effective, we just started doing it here.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it all started.
So when did you start tabling just as a label, no longer touring as Titan?
The New Friends in 2019, I think.
Oh, really? So that was how did that come about? You just like saw there was a request for vendors. You're like, I can hang out.
I don't totally remember, like, because I moved back from San Francisco in August of 2018. So I don't remember all the details, but I think it was. Yeah, I think I just reached out.
Moving more records and stuff.
And just like that fest reminded me of like all the fests in Europe that we like the DIY fests. That
whenever I hung out at your table at New Friends when there's like in between bands, you'd be flooded with people digging, finding the like people see your stuff and they look for the treasure because you always got some treasure.
I know. For New Friends Fest, I bring out the special stuff.
Okay, so that kind of shoehorns into my next idea I had brewing about like marketing, which is like bigger labels put money in the marketing.
Yeah.
COVID, you couldn't be tabling or doing what known as touring. How were you marketing during COVID?
So we started working with this PR company called Earsplit. So it's run by two people, Liz and Dave, and they've just been like Liz was part of like Metal Maniacs, the magazine, like back in the day.
Okay.
She does like Metal Blades PR, but they are so awesome. They still like support the underground labels. So they give us like an independent deal, like special
that's
price
awesome.
that's like manageable for us because we don't have distribution.
You don't have any distribution. It's all really?
Work on it.
So it's all outside of tabling. It's all mail order.
It's all mail order and the trading.
Right, that's true. Yeah,
but we do a lot
of trading. You're saying
a lot of mail order.
Oh, a lot of mail order. Yeah,
we do a good amount. But yeah, Earsplit helped get people to pay attention to us.
Yeah,
that otherwise wouldn't have.
So there's no like ads in little magazines or anything.
Yeah,
is there still magazines?
Yeah, like, we do ads in Decibel. Like if you have, if you get the Decibel magazine that has Death Heaven on the cover, one of our bands, Witherer, interviewed in there. I have an ad. Our ad is like right below the Neuron ad, which felt like
that's pretty cool.
That was like a good place for us to be.
Did you cut that page out, frame it?
No, I've got
but you got the magazine.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, we've been doing that. I did a few other ones, like we did an ad in like Metal Hammer. We did an ad in this weird like Denmark-based magazine. So we tried a little bit of that. It's hard to know if
it was a spike in sales because of that. It's just but it's also like planting that seed in someone's brain, and then it pops up in their like neurotypical brain when they're seeing something else. Like, wait a second, I saw something about that. So yeah, I mean, you just getting the name out there is important. So a little bit of advertising. And I guess how do you drive traffic to the social media stuff? Touring bands will promote it, or
I do a lot of like live videos when seeing bands. So even when I'm at a show, like I'll
tag them in it. People see the tags.
And I think that Instagram like pushes the reels a lot. So the live video turns into a reel afterwards, and people watch it.
I meant to post a photo last night. It posted a reel because Instagram is a devil app.
Yeah, it's like you have to figure out. But like honestly, the biggest tool for us is Bandcamp.
Really?
Which it has that virality built into it, because when you add it to your collection, the email goes out to everyone who's following you saying that you just got this.
Yeah.
The people that write those little reviews.
Yep.
Those get,
you know what? I should really be doing that.
That's the single biggest thing, because then the people who are in the discover part of Bandcamp and just like checking stuff out get to see like that social proof of like these other people. This is what they thought about it. Oh, it sounds like this band.
Yeah.
This is really great. This is my favorite track. Like that social proof drives a lot of interest, and when you buy it, your people see it, so they buy it, and you get this like virality effect.
Well, artist pages now can recommend like bands at the bottom of it. Do you pressure your bands to put some other?
No, so Bandcamp collects like 10 people who bought this also bought this.
Yeah. I have not noticed that.
Yeah,
actually.
so that'll help. Push things.
They finally started focusing on playlists. Like they put a new push recently, so that's a big deal.
It's because a new competitor came up. Have you seen Ampwall?
No.
So it was started by
Ampwall?
Yeah.
Huh.
This guy Chris, who's in the black metal band Woe from New York.
Yeah.
I mean, historically, Bandcamp hasn't like done any features. Like they didn't do anything new or really like care. They were just like printing money. But now there's a little bit of competition in the water.
Yeah.
So like Ampwall obviously took off.
I always thought when they did do features, they did an all right job though.
Yeah.
I mean they're always scratching the surface at best. Yeah.
But then they got sold to Epic. They got sold again. Like
Wait, who owns them now then?
Epic sold it to someone else.
I wonder. I did not know that. I'm curious.
I don't pay attention to all the details.
Yeah, it's important though, because I'm not sure where all the rights end up at the end of the day if the wrong claws get into it, right?
Yeah, I bet for us we own all our.
So you can have label curated playlists now that can be shared.
Yeah,
and
it's good.
Artists who make zero money on Spotify has still been utilizing playlists or curator playlists to promote forever, right?
Yeah, and to get like to get the ears on it. And hope.
So have you delved into themed playlists or anything?
A little bit. I've like posted a couple.
Yeah?
I did like a Doom over Toronto playlist. That was all my favorite Doom and Doom adjacent bands from Toronto.
You just post that to social media? Like if I go to the Hypaethral, how do you pronounce that? Hypaethral. Oh my God.
You were just adding extra vowels that aren't there.
So it's not Hypaethral, it's Hypaethral.
Yeah, Hypaethral.
Because if you look at the old way spelling encyclopedia, the AE is the E sound.
Well, maybe
I'm sorry, this is the asshole nerd in me coming out.
But it's our label, we can call it what we want.
Hell yeah. So Hypaethral, sorry, that was a distraction. If I go to the Hypaethral like Bandcamp page,
no,
is there?
I did it on Spotify. So if you go to the
Spotify, right? So you haven't done any Bandcamp playlists yet?
They just came out, right? Like it's relatively new.
Yeah, like in a month or two. That is like a beta. There's some kind of beta program.
I just haven't gotten to it yet, but I will.
Nick from Dazzling Tillman just did one this morning, and that's how I found out about it.
Okay, cool.
Speaking of which, I don't know how much you know about Dazzling Tillman, but they're fucking doing a revival. What the fuck? Who they have no plans for Toronto. Who do I connect with to get like one of the greatest like proto metal noise rock bands ever? Whose ear do I need to
Probably
find?
KW.
Was that?
Probably KW who runs this house.
I wonder. I should bug him. You don't know Dazzling Tillman?
No, but like that noise rock thing that was never like it is.
It's like they're one of the earlier noise rock bands, but they're like full ankle into metal too in their sound. Like it's brutal and gnarly and make most noise rock bands blush. You know, like their second record was just a horrific masterpiece. But I'm going way off topic. Sorry, just talking about the Bandcamp list it made me think of that. All right, so what other anecdotes do we have about the label that come to mind? What is the worst moment in the history of Hypaethral? Really frustrated, annoying thing that seemed like not, made you want to go.
It's always like the vinyl delays. Like the Pyres record is still
I think one of the things that we tell bands right out of the gate is that there is a long lead time for vinyl. I know you want it now, you want to tour tomorrow. Yeah. It's not possible to get vinyl in that short, in any sort of short lead time.
It's the only physical media that sells anymore, and that includes gigantic Coliseum bands,
CDs
right?
Sell really well.
Really?
Again, yeah.
Who fucking uses CDs?
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Just when you got Bandcamp, why would you? I mean, I'm gonna call my CDs at some point. I don't know. I'm going to.
It's a lot of Europe, Australia, the UK. They mail order a lot of the CDs. It's cheaper to ship. We get better margin on them too. Like they're cheaper to produce. So like I'm not against it. I'm just gonna go block the parking spot so they don't take KW's spot.
And cassettes. You guys eventually had to do cassettes, eh?
Yeah. Some of the
worst recorded medium ever. Cassettes. That's just magnetic tape. Like
they do move a little bit. A pretty limited amount, but
I mean. There are some super nerds who will play it on gear, but
there are some labels that are like cassette-only labels that like really move cassettes, and we just.
How many people are actually listening to the actual cassettes? Like, I feel like people buy to support the band and just use the download code.
Maybe, but.
Do you have a cassette player at home?
Me, no. Well, I have a Walkman.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, because I have to listen when we do a cassette. I have to listen to the test.
My next question was, does it work?
Yeah. Is it like a modern repro Walkman or like an old one?
No, it's a new one. I got it from like Urban Outfitters.
So like it has does it have a built-in like rechargeable lithium battery or something?
No.
So you still got to put batteries.
Yeah.
So when the batteries start dying, it would go.
Yes, correct.
Breaks that tape.
And are they still made good? Like the wobble and flutter? Like, is there any like variation to the listening experience?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But just as it was.
Yeah.
It always was.
Yeah. I remember being grade 4 and getting my biological mother, who I didn't raise me, but she sent me a I think it was a Telefunken, and it was like twice the size of the Sony one. It's a gigantic, but a personal like tape player, and I was so happy and stoked. But at one set of batteries, I'd be lucky to get through one record, and it made it pointless to use it because I was poor. I couldn't have a pocket full of batteries to listen to music all day.
Cassettes will always hold that place in like my history, where I used to like listen to different radio stations and their midnight plays.
Yes, yes.
Record it, and then like look up everything
big time. Yeah, I used to. Well, actually, I discovered at one point, like in the mid '90s, that you could record on a VHS tape just audio, and you could put it in that long play. As you get like 6 to 8 hours. I didn't
even know that.
And you could record, and I could record Brave New Waves after I went to sleep. I work in construction, I had to get up early. Yeah. And Brave New Waves starts at midnight, goes to 4 a.m.
Right.
And there was always some neat shit, but I discovered you could record that on your VHS, set it. You could. I learned how to program a VHS just because of that.
That's crazy. That's awesome. So I remember like stealing my mom's like Phil Collins tape and like stuffing.
Oh no! You recorded over Phil.
Yeah. Because they had those tabs at the top, I would stuff it with.
Yeah. Did your mom find out?
For sure she did. The next time she put her Phil Collins tape in, she knew.
That's awesome.
Still have that hanging around somewhere.
That tape.
Yeah, I've got like a single box of like cassettes that I've kept since I was whatever.
I haven't got rid of any of my cassettes, and I don't know why.
I did a major purge of my CDs at one point.
Yeah.
Because I had thousands.
Yeah.
I was like, this is crazy. I don't listen to 90% of the
I did the same.
I haven't called my CDs yet, but it's gonna happen. I think cassettes. I want to call because I want to like. There's obviously some things that are precious. I'm never gonna like. I'd be a car demo cassette, like all that. I want implanted inside my body, but like a time capsule that's going with me. But I would like to just digitize some of the stuff and then just like get rid of it all. I got rid of like 99% of all my DVDs, which was a lot. Like decommissioning Soy Bomb. I was like, oh crap, why do I have so many DVDs?
I did it to my DVDs and my CDs.
VHSs too. I probably have VHSs that are worth money, but I'm just ditching them. I'm giving everything to like iSource Cinema. I'm just like, I don't have the patience to figure it out and deal with it.
I sold probably like 200 of my VHS and did like a bulk because I was going through, I was like, this one I want to keep, this one I want to sell.
Right, making the piles,
Yeah, and then so I was like, okay, this one was like, I remember hard to get. I found it for free, but I remember looking at it, I was like, well, new, it's like $90.
Right. Yeah.
So I was on a bunch of like VHS like trading Facebook groups and stuff. So I posted like a couple of them, and I was like, Toronto only meetup, like that's it.
Yeah.
So I sold a few of them for like 10, 15, like. I remember some people.
So you barely break even on your time sometimes, right?
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not like looking to make a lot. Yeah. And then the rest of them, it was so cute. It was this like 21-year-old kid, and I gave him like 100 tapes. I think he gave me like $40 or something.
Right. Does he even have a VHS player?
So he like when he showed up, I was like, you can keep the like reusable bags too. He's like, thank you so much. Me and my girlfriend have been talking all week about what movies we're gonna watch first, and we're gonna like build a shelf to like put them up. And I was like, you're welcome, kid. Welcome to the
Yeah. Like, where's that gonna go?
Yeah. I was like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
The torch. Also, so much dust.
Yeah. And it's like. It's things like it's space, right? It's space in your physical life.
Yeah. No, I had like a closet in my apartment that I put shelving in, so it was like 4 to 6.
All your tapes,
all my tapes. And then after a while, I was just like, it's just done.
How many do you have left?
Probably like 20 or 30. Yeah.
That's probably what I'm gonna end up with my DVDs too.
Yeah. Same. I did that with my DVDs, Blu-rays, everything.
There's some that I attach emotional value to, and you just kind of like you can't, right?
Yeah.
You almost got to go through it twice. You go through once, and then you go through it again later. It's like, you know what? Do I really get that much attachment?
Yeah. Ooh, I think I'm gonna get this.
Okay, that's my last copy.
Did you get food? Did you get food? Oh, okay. Gotta buy you food.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Ready for it.
All right. Yeah, I'm starving. I was waiting for you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm working on my beach bod, so I gotta hold my calories in. Oh.
I was looking at the keychains earlier.
Well, I was pestering the guys about Hypaethral streaming to the services. I don't even know if it's working. Like I have no way. Like I'm pretty sure it is. But the good thing about it is the conversation is recorded. I can download the VOD, and I think I would like if it looks and sounds good. I would like to edit it and put it together as a piece on YouTube. Like I want to start doing edited content for YouTube about like the people I know and like really fun convos. I think we hit most of the key things about a small metal label.
So do you offer barber services in addition to that?
Oh, you know what? I should have.
Oh my God, that would have been slick.
Come around to the back of the booth. Yeah.
I had to trim my face with the electric trimmer this morning. You could have been. Oh.
Yeah, that would have been like.
Yeah. Would you get?
Barber.
And a hot roll haircut.
Yeah, a hot shave would be like awesome.
Prepare the beard. Prepare the beard.
Prepare the beer for it.
Huh. Would you get in trouble from your in your apprenticeship for going off? No.
I don't think so. I mean, like, I'm not.
How's it been today?
I'm not.
Very
Working without oversight.
Well, yeah,
Just it's my first record of the day, like
it's not
2
like
minutes
I did.
before you walk.
If I was advertising, like, hey, I'm here from my barbershop, that'd be a different.
I think just Sunday.
Yeah.
People
Right.
probably,
Ultimately,
you know, tired.
Technically,
Day 2 of the fest.
So what if you were like, yeah, so you're an independent contractor, come do some shaves, you actually slit someone's throat and killed them. What would happen to your apprenticeship then?
Yeah, but yesterday everyone was coming to get their pass.
I don't know if the
so there was
apprenticeship
just
is
this
that-
like natural traffic. Whereas today, unless
It's
you're
not that
coming
official,
specifically
but, like
for
serious.
this,
You know what I mean?
So
It's not like-
murder's fine.
I mean, like what?
Murder's not a deal killer.
Yeah, I'm
Manslaughtering.
insurance issues would probably would tie into that. And like, I mean, you'd have to, you have to have like approval from like the Board of Health to like,
Right.
you know, because you are dealing
Yeah.
with cutting people,
Biological
literally.
material.
You know,
Yeah.
shading people.
Awesome.
Bloodborne environment, right?
Is that literally what they say about barbering? It makes sense. But
But like, I mean, on
wow.
the other hand, it's like I get a lot
Lovely,
of
thank
trades
you.
guys who are like, "Oh, so tell me about your apprenticeship," and I'm like, "It's nothing like yours.
Yeah.
There's no sort of official program."
Yeah.
The funny
You wanna
thing
give
on
one
the
of
other
those?
side is
It's not like X amount of hours and you get a ticket and you pass a test. Yeah.
it's a matter of like
When the-
getting up to shop standards.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my boss kind of watches everything I do and lets me know like what I need to improve on, and I have to kind of build on that.
What did your boss say about my weird hairdo?
Did you end up running this morning?
I like it, by the way. Like
late as
I can do a lot with it.
like
It's hatted right
9:15,
now.
Brandon was
But
at the house by
when you
10.
cut it and it was sitting down like that,
We were
it
here
looked
by
way
10:30.
too much 1930s Germany. It was
But you
like,
liked it.
yeah,
It looked good.
because it
It
actually
rained
like
a little
the
bit
way you
earlier.
did
We
it,
had to
I
put,
could
like,
do
lids
100
on
different things
everything
with
and
it.
just
That's
like,
what I
is
like
it
about
gonna
it.
pass?
Yeah.
It's,
That's what it did.
That's the thing. We like do bespoke haircuts,
Yeah.
right? Like with a lot of like my boss told me. Okay, first off, I'll take it back. No, we'll rewind. There apparently was a school for barbering in Ontario, and the last location of it closed in like
I'll let
1982.
you know about this.
This is what I've overheard,
Yeah.
like my coworkers and my boss
Yeah.
talking about with some people.
Yeah, Tuesday I had my run club.
My
but,
boss
like,
went to hair school, so he
yeah.
actually like salon. Like,
when do you leave?
Yeah.
Like,
you know?
Yeah.
But
Wednesday
he
after.
dealt with all like dyeing and
Maybe Monday?
like dyeing hair, chemicals.
Yeah. All the fundamentals.
there will
But,
be
like,
another
he
time.
said that
We'll have
barbering was,
another
like,
opportunity.
2 weeks of the whole
Yeah,
course.
We most
Oh, wow.
He did an apprenticeship at like a couple different shops.
Yeah, flights
and
are so
like,
cheap from that.
Oh, yeah?
It's kinda
Nice.
like-
first off, the reason he went into hair was he was actually an iron worker, which is why the place is called Black Collar Barbershop. Iron workers' nicknames are black collar workers.
Which
So
makes
you heard of
sense.
blue collar, you heard of white
Yeah.
collar. So iron workers.
Because you're
I
always
guess,
covered in black soot all day. Yeah.
are black collars. So
Cool.
Yeah, it's
he broke his back, and the way he puts it, he's like, iron work is
really
back-breaking labor, and I literally broke my back. So
Was that from an accident though?
yeah, an
Yeah.
at-work accident.
Yeah.
So there's a
This one's 20. It's like it is a UK import.
Will pay for schooling or training for a new profession or vocation if you got severely hurt or permanently hurt and can't continue in your
The labels
continue
from
What
in
is
your
China.
field.
I don't know if
Oh, scary! There's a creature.
or like sketchy
Yeah, so
adjacent maybe.
they'll
I
pay
don't
for
know.
training or
Oh,
schooling.
okay.
And so
But
he decided
we-
to go into
we did the
hair. But
vinyl,
the only
so it
way
was
to
one of
do
our
it
releases,
was to
and then
go
the band, like,
and do hair school.
had
But
their friend
he
in the
also
UK
did an
do
apprenticeship
the-
at a
the
barbershop.
tape, and
I remember he was
the
saying
friend
that
in the
like,
UK
he
got
asked
the
about
label and
apprenticing
tried
at a
to do the
barbershop.
CD.
Oh.
And
So
they
there's-
kept telling him no, but he kept just showing up
Yeah.
every day and watching.
So he was saying they were saying no because it's just they don't do that. Like no one does that.
Yeah, I guess. I think he knew the owner or some people that worked there.
Yeah.
And he said he just
But
kept showing
the
up. and
artwork
finally,
is
like,
a guy from
okay, here's how to do
France.
hair. Like here's how to cut hair and shit like that. And I
Sam
remember telling a
Richtis.
story
I can,
that,
like, send it
I
to
guess
you,
maybe I don't know if he finished or was doing
Send
his
you his
apprenticeship
Instagram.
while he was at hair school. But I remember him telling me a story where like he was in a class and an instructor came to get him to like help
I have to
out
say
with,
about- I have to say about-
like a barbering course for another
Gonna
class.
probably
Like,
try to get a
can you
Con
fix this
shirt,
guy's
that's
hair?
something.
Basically.
Yeah.
So
But came to get
ultimately,
him.
yeah, what I'm saying is like, yeah, the whole apprenticeship when it comes to
Thank
barbering,
you, guys.
it's not
Thank
like
you.
this very
Yeah.
official
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If I
We're
wanted to
gonna
go become an
ditch out
electrician,
probably by
it's like you said,
5:30 to catch
I can't
Connie,
like go,
and
do
then
X
we'll
amount of
go
hours, get a
to,
ticket, and boom,
the
I'm an
secret
electrician,
show,
or I can
Cave in
charge an
One.
electrician's rate for work.
And
So
then we'll come
in your
here
case,
and
like
come back for
you're
y'all.
there until like the boss says, yeah, you're ready. You're on the you're now available for bookings and
It's a
What's-
There's actually another step to it with our shop anyway.
Steve
Yeah.
Brodsky
So
and
right
Adam.
now, I'm not
Nice.
available
Doing
to
like
the
an
general
acoustic
public to
Yeah.
be booked.
Okay.
yeah.
So I handle
Try
all
to
my own
contact. We have
appointments.
to
It's
get
up to me to
supper
bring
at
in
some point.
anybody and everybody. That I
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
For
We're kind of
your
getting
haircut?
loosey-goosey today, right?
I'll pay for it.
Dude, yeah, that's like it was free and I didn't. At the end of the day, I was like, I should give Kopko some fucking money. Like that was good.
So here's the thing: it's officially free in that it's not on the books at the shop. Meaning, like
Try to catch
Yeah, it's
this sort of takes
'cause
some
we got, like,
responsibility
cut
off the
early
shop
last
in
night.
that.
Like, we had to leave early to
If I
get
don't
to
give an
Burning
awesome
Love. I got to see,
haircut,
like,
you know what I
one
mean? You
song.
kind of
Right.
take your chances.
Which was
But at the
tough,
same
because
time,
But you are taking. We took space up at the shop. We took a chair. We took up space,
yeah.
right?
And at the same time, it's like shop standard is like haircuts are a half hour long.
We got
If I
there
take
like 10
any,
minutes before
like
he
if I,
was
you're
supposed
going to
to
expect
start.
to be in my chair for
we
like
just, like,
maybe
sat
an hour, sort of.
Yeah.
Right.
Getting late.
It was an experience. I liked it.
That type of shit. So it was like Stephen Brodsky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded amazing.
It's called Black Collar Barbershop. It's in Etobicoke on Lakeshore near Islington.
Okay.
Started there in December.
It's right where my dad lives.
Oh,
So string of
have a
visiting.
father-son
Okay, well,
hangout.
enjoy. I'll see you.
So I'm handling all my own
around.
appointments. And
Yeah.
technically,
Okay.
I'm not
Bye,
on the
guys.
books, meaning like I don't exist to an extent.
Yeah, he's not on the website available for bookings.
Yeah, I'm on the website. You just can't book me yet.
Yeah.
So when
Like a
I kind of
ghost.
get up to when I get up to shop standards, whatever. Boss deems me worthy. I'll be available.
So what
on
was the
website.
next step? You said there's another
This is
step.
The next step.
That's fine. Yeah.
When,
The
when my boss deems me worthy, I'll be put on the website and open to the general public.
Why
So,
aren't there
I mean, like if you
more,
want a haircut with me, I could still set you up
Yeah.
on an appointment, but it'll be put into our system.
Yep.
And like you'll be booked and like that kind of thing. It'll be official, and then you'll be there will actually be a charge for the
Yeah,
haircut, an
yeah.
official charge.
And then there's like your cut and the shop cut, right?
Exactly.
Now-
so my rate is $10 cheaper than the senior barbers.
Right. Right.
And and I mean, if I get tipped, that's all mine.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been the same thing with like
Your
this.
tips is all going to be food and booze today. I'm going to give you cash, but
I'm not mad about
I want to
that.
treat you to a good day.
Thank you. You're hanging. I'm not fucking mad about that either. So
Do you do lineups as well?
yeah. I gave him a straight razor shave.
Yeah.
And cut his hair, trimmed his mustache.
Trim the
put
mustache, yeah.
Put a little wax in the mustache too.
Curl it?
It's messed up right now because I've been wearing a hat for like 2 days, but
I didn't curl it. He didn't want me to, but I just I trimmed it down and just like.
So I travel for work probably 2 or 3 times a month. I'm down in the States, I'm down in Mexico, I'm across Canada and stuff like that, all for work. And every time before I go for work, I'll get a trim down, I'll line up, I'll get my hair done,
cool,
and everything because I got.
If you want to come to me, I would love to have you. But
Yeah.
you're in Burlington, right?
So I live in Brampton right now, but
Okay.
I'm very frequently down.
Cool. If you want to come down my way, please send me a message. I'll set you up with an appointment. Just let me know. Hey, I want to come on Tuesday at 12.
Right.
Like I'm like, yeah, cool. Just
For my case, I'm working Monday to Friday, but it was available on a Saturday, so it was like a lunch. Suzanne and I made a day of it. We went to San Remo, got some awesome ass
this great
brunch.
Italian bakery on
Oh.
New York.
Have you been?
Make sure it's bananas.
Yeah.
The place is so
You might want to stay away. Everything's amazing. Like it's bad. Yeah.
It's not like it's not just baked goods. It's not just sweets. Hot table lunches, amazing sandwiches. It's a really great place.
It's
So
really,
I
and
just-
price
I was
wise
just-
is good too.
Right,
Surprisingly.
yeah. I've been reaching out to anybody and everybody I know, just being like, hey, I just started this apprenticeship. Do you want a free haircut? And I've had a lot of people come, and it's cool getting like repeat customers.
So I guess you're going to the cave-in
So I'll get dudes that hit me
set
up like,
tonight?
hey, I need another haircut.
I didn't realize it was happening.
It's like something that's so like it's fuck up.
We'll see.
Dude, I love taking. I'm serious about facial hair, and I love giving shaves. The straighters and shaves are fun to me.
Right,
And
yeah.
like, I haven't had any. I haven't had any.
Cave-in and that, but
I
I've
shaved a
seen
buddy of
them
mine
before.
yesterday, and I gave him.
Or like in that like
kind of
crazy
bloody. It wasn't
church, it's gonna
sliced,
sound
but
acoustic. It's gonna
he
sound.
wanted a clean shave.
It's
And
gonna
it's very
sound
rare one that guys come in who want a full clean shave.
Right.
Not a bad thing. It's
Probably
just
for
a lot of
the
guys
best
have
that
some
fun
kind
in
of
there.
facial hair.
Right, right. They'll keep some-
Another thing is like I've offered shaves to friends who have beards.
You never
And
can
they'll
have
be
enough
like,
LPs.
oh, this is Chris. I think the first time he came in to the shop, I was just like, can I get you for a shave? He's like, yeah, cool. And then like a few days before the appointment, he's like, Sarah's birthday was coming up, and he's like, Sarah's requested that I'm not clean shaven for her birthday. And I'm like, that's fine. Yeah, but you got me for a shave, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not gonna take.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what you want.
Yeah,
If I
yeah,
shave your throat.
Yeah.
That's still a shave.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
But I've
Not-
had a couple guys who are just like, I don't want to be clean shaven.
Right.
And it's like, no, like if I'm
Yeah,
shaving,
yeah,
it's,
doing this.
yeah. I'm
Have you
not
gotten
taking
any
your
designs
business.
where like everything comes into like an arrow pointing up or anything? No designs yet.
Those are tough, man. They take time.
Yeah.
But yeah, also another thing is like shaving the upper lip, the mustache is not easy at all. So yeah, it's
Basically pin their face down, right?
And then I got to get
Yeah.
in there and like
Yeah.
doing this to you and like
Exactly.
stretching you up.
I know that we're gonna have an easy time when you're going around here because I have like weird sort of folds.
you got
Yeah,
steps into
I have a weird it's a weird chin.
It's odd for me on this side of like either of my mustache. Like it comes like if you part right here, there's like it comes down way too far.
Yeah,
Oh
little
yeah, you see
cider.
a little gap.
Yeah, it's like a gap, right? A lot of people
It's-
have it,
it's
but
that
it's
time-
difficult to get a
that
good
time of the
line
day.
up
Okay.
from the bottom of that gap. It's like I end up looking like I've got a chin strap or something.
And yeah, I get why you wouldn't want that.
yeah, and like that's not what I want. I want it to be like
Yeah, and I mean, if you have the gap, there's not much you can do. You just leave it as it is, and it's
live,
like,
live with it and kind of I don't know. It fills itself in, kind of. Through
Yeah.
Did you end up going to Fresh as well?
So I'm looking at your beard. I'm looking at Brandon's beard. I can see you have an oil regimen.
I've got,
That's a lot. You have a big enough beard. That's got to take a bit of product.
yeah, it takes a while. I have a beard straightener.
Yeah.
It's hot comb. It heats up. Comb it
Yeah,
out.
it's sustenance
and
at this
I
point.
put,
It doesn't even matter.
I have to put a very like a stronghold pomade into my beard. So
Really?
I use this pomade. The brand's called
Hey, buddy.
Brussels, and it's,
you going?
I think it's
Can I touch?
yeah.
You ready
It's
for
like
Con 8?
extra. I think it's like
Oh,
extra
yeah.
concrete hold.
Okay.
So it's thick, like
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
creamy, like it's white,
Right.
you know. And I rub it in. And I actually start underneath, and then do the
So
outside.
that's to give it shape and so it stays. So what happens if you
Yeah, I
don't
think
use that? You
that's
just
been the
puff
theme.
right out?
People are just
yeah, it's
starting
my-
to arrive.
Like
It's
Papa
pretty
Smurf
early,
style?
4:30.
Yeah.
So it like
It was
I'll
dead
tell you what happens
all
exactly.
morning,
So
all afternoon.
yeah.
But like now,
I would get that and I would get like,
That's why. That's
Yeah.
why I
my
wear
beard would
product.
end up in like a mustache at the bottom.
That's why it's got to be. It's got to be like a really strong hold for me to keep it. I like the shape. I want this.
Yeah.
Strong hold.
Good. Did I show you the picture like it lived?
Well, I saw Sarah post this.
Oh yeah,
Very creamy and white as well.
Yeah,
But I don't wear it
probably
often.
layrite.
so big.
Sounds great.
Almost. She'll be 10.
I like layrite too.
Sandalwood.
She just like wears all my clothes.
Anyway,
Some people get really picky about scents. Yes, I'm not.
Yeah, she reposted
But there are unscented ones out there.
I like the wood scented ones.
There was a layrite paste that literally smelled like paste. It had no scent, but it had a natural sort of scent. Some people hated it because it's like some people are like, oh, it smells like glue, and I'm like, I kind of like it for that reason. It has a kind of unique sort of, but it's not like, you know, if we were standing this far apart, it's not you smell it, right?
It's not so like,
It just, you know, it just smells like a product sort of thing. But yeah, but some have scents. I'm pretty sure this one's scented. I can't remember. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a scent. And
overpowering these too much.
I just realized you had this on the whole time.
Oh, yeah?
We're talking about beards and you're talking about like records. It'd be a funny sounding conversation.
breeze came by and I can smell my own cologne.
I'll
So,
definitely pop by.
so as an apprentice, once you're like doing bookings and stuff, do you have a limited amount? Like you have to work at that shop for X amount of time so that they, you know, get their investment.
That hasn't exactly been discussed. I mean, there's nothing official like that. There's no contract or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like at least by this point, I haven't had any contract to sign or anything.
Of course, you have no, and you wouldn't even necessarily want to go anywhere else right away, anyways, right? Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's.
I mean, the shop puts time into you, and you're using their space to learn.
Yeah, and it would just be fair to, you know, spend a decent amount of time there. But at the same time, there could be different things that, like there's a barber at the shop who I'm not particularly fond of, and like I don't know how much he likes me.
Right, so it could end up that it has to be a split.
Yeah,
one way or the other.
You know, it's
or you move away.
Sure. Yeah. You know, he's a bit tough to deal with. I mean, also at the same move away. Yeah. I mean, I don't live like extremely close to where I work.
That's true.
It's like a 10-minute drive, really. But if you want to break it down, there are a lot of barbershops closer to me.
Yeah.
But like I've been going there for years as a customer, and the owner of the shop I've always been pretty friendly with. He's been cutting my hair for around 15 years.
Yeah.
That shop I'm at now has been open since 2018.
Right.
So he was cutting my hair at another shop.
Yeah.
And we were always really friendly. And I just really lucked out. I just asked for a job. It's not like I gave a resume or anything.
Yeah.
Filled out an application. I booked the owner for a haircut. Dave agreed to. Just asked him. I'm like, hey, you know, what would you think about having me come work here?
What was his immediate response to that?
Are you serious?
I
wasn't maybe he thought I was joking.
Yeah.
And then he threw in a little bit of humor. He's like, "You want to hang out with us all day?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess I kind of do."
But he liked the idea, so
yeah,
that's cool.
And then also he had to run it by the other guys in the shop.
Right.
That's another thing.
So is it a bit of a collective in that sense then, or just like everyone's got to work together? So
it's been the same three guys for like a couple of years.
Right.
Even
cool fries or good pasta.
I'll have a sampling, but I gotta save my appetite for an entree. They are cold. Oh, I gotta find out. All right, I'm gonna end this.